Jonesy and Amanda.
Jam Nation.
When it comes to the kinky history of sex, Esmé James, Dr. Esmé James, has everything covered from front to back. She's got 3 million followers on social media, so it's a lot of people she's imparting this saucy information to. And she joins us right now. Esmé, hi.
Hello, how are we?
Very well. So when we talk about history, we don't talk about sex. Have we airbrushed sex out of history?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Go back to any of your textbooks and you'll find that there's this very crucial part about being human, having sex, that is just absent. And we will talk about things like how people ate, how people slept, all of these various things. But the one thing that guaranteed we have a history at all, procreation, just isn't there. And we lose so much of history because there's so much that we can learn about just our relationships that we've had to our bodies, to the ways that we express our desires, whether freaky or not, that we're just kind of missing from the story.
Because there's a lot of sexual acts, and I'm not going to be too graphic, but there's a lot of them, and you think, well, who invented that?
I can probably tell you.
So who invented okay, I'm just trying to candy coat this, and that's not a euphemism, but say, for example,
Here we go.
Missionary?
Okay, missionary, yes.
Can I say that?
Let's start with that. Start with missionary. Who came up with that? Well, that's pretty basic.
You were actually bang on. It was the missionaries. So there was a certain period in Europe, medieval Europe, where missionary was considered the only position that the church would endorse. Why? Because they believed it was the least pleasurable, especially for women. And they believed that sex for enjoyment was a sin. This is a belief in European history for a very long period of time. Having sex for enjoyment is just as bad as committing adultery, right? Wow. And so they preach missionary as the position for every good Christian. And it becomes the position that the missionaries preach across the world, and hence where we get the name today.
What are some of the kinkier, more interesting parts of history and sex that you've discovered?
I think every famous figure that we look up to, tends to have a bit of a kinky past. One of my favorite ones that I love to quote is Einstein, a man who's, synonymous with genius. He had very passionate beliefs that monogamy was the fruit of all evil for man. He believed that everyone should express free love and that humans would be happier if we shared each other around. And he very much practiced what he preached when it came to that kind of behavior.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. He's got some hair to tug.
Because really, are we meant to be monogamous? Like if you went back, say, to the, 500 BC, were they monogamous back then?
We have very different relationship structures throughout history, which is also something that's so interesting because we think today about monogamy as just something that we assume. But a lot of cultures don't practice monogamy, or they have different understandings of how that works. So back in places like ancient Rome, for example, it was very common for men especially to engage in multiple different relationships. But also there's a lot of exploration with other men and for women as well in places like ancient Rome. We don't have that concept yet of binary genders. And so there is this kind of free-flowing love, but you would have your person on paper that you're kind of married to for political reasons or social reasons.
And was it also for security reasons? Because wasn't that the old adage that men would have sex with anybody, but the structure of marriage meant women had a protector?
Yes. And you've got your protector, you've got your kind of financial person there. But, when you get periods of time where the Spartans go off to war, they're boosting morale between each other. And the women are keeping themselves equally interested, back at the house.
What are you doing, soldier? I'm boosting morale, sir. It's fascinating.
It was also something that was really encouraged for a lot of armies. We had this army called the Band of Thebes, which was an army made up of 150 gay couples, essentially. And the theory behind it was that these men would fight harder on the battlefield if they were protecting the man that they loved. And it worked.
Wow.
This is the band that, defeated the Spartans.
Because Alexander the Great, was he gay?
Yeah.
He was gay.
Yes. Well, but then again, it's really hard, right? Because we don't even have concepts yet of homosexuality and heterosexuality.
Was that the church that shifted that?
It is. And we only gained this concept about 250 years ago. It's something that's quite new in thinking.
So when you perform your stage show, because you are taking your Eggplant Tour around the country.
Love the Eggplant.
Do you have audio visuals? What's the show like?
It is a bit of everything. We have burlesque dances. I do a tap dance as a giant eggplant, so wonderful. But also we've got a lot of, as you say, audio visuals. I believe that everyone should see the pictures of the prehistoric sex toys that I'm talking about. It's really important. But also this is a fantastic way to learn. These stories are fun and they're quirky and they're
And they're
silly.
real.
They're real,
It's
and it's
real.
a huge part of history. And we need to make history more fun.
Who was the first person to use the eggplant as an emoji?
Oh, as an emoji.
Like, so when did that become, because now when you text something, you can't send eggplant, you can't send spurty water.
But
you
how often
can't
would
do
you
it.
be sending an eggplant? I'm at the grocery store.
Well,
to the
I'm
boss.
learning a lot about you.
That's right.
I'm getting eggplant and spurty water.
Yeah.
No, I don't know why people, someone had to come up with that.
I think so. Well, I do know that some people do use it innocently because when my book Kinky History came out, I've got a big eggplant on the cover. And I have found it in the cooking section a couple of times. Really cooking up a storm in the kitchen
Love
there.
it.
But
Covered in
Fascinating,
hot
Esmé.
oil. How kinky.
Absolutely fascinating. Dr. Esmé James, for tickets to Kinky History Live, the Eggplant Tour, go to bombpresents.com. Esmé, thank you for coming in.
thank you for having me.
Loved it.